Everybody, hey Thomas, how are you? Thomas is helping me with a project to do donation robots. As you know, donation robots are a great way to get funding, and so here I've given him some sort of basic requirements, and I bought this CPU coin selector. I bought a Microbit. I loaned him the Amazon Fire and a bunch of other stuff. This is the Hummingbird Bit kit. So he's been using this to try to come up with a basic project for a donation robot. So let's talk to Thomas and see what he's got for us.
So we've managed to get it working with the Amazon Kindle. Now the tablet with the software I'm using requires it to be Bluetooth connected to the Hummingbird all the time. And we're going to move away from that because although the Hummingbird's real nice, they're kind of expensive and we want to go to a more generic board.
But for a middle school individual who is working on it would be perfect, right?
Sure.
And you can show me the other boards that you have while we do this. Oh, after we do this. Yeah, after we do this. So basically,
so we've gotten the bird blocks, BIRD-BLOX.
Okay.
Programming system.
Which is basically a Blockly coding environment.
And we've got the Microbit here, and it plugs into the Hummingbird Bit board.
And the Hummingbird Bit board is really nice because it makes it really easy to connect your cables and wires without having to solder.
Now, soldering is not hard, but it can be dangerous if you have young kids.
Right, and then you don't have to deal with fumes and whatnot, so.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the idea of this is when we have a light sensor here, and we have a light. When you have a coin, the coin's going to break the beam and signal the Microbit to do something. In our case, it's going to go from a red light to a green light, and it's going to spin this around, and we wanted to make it kind of cute, so we put Supergirl on it.
Right.
So Supergirl is going to go round and round when we put our coins in.
So the concept of a donation robot, if you haven't figured it now yet, is that you make a donation and something happens that rewards you for the donation. You're not going to put it directly into the machine?
Put what directly into
the coins?
I will.
Oh, you will. Okay.
Hook it up though.
Hook it up. Okay.
So we're going to take the sensor. Now there's a little place. There's two places that you can put a sensor. I found out that this works more reliably than this. You also have to account for the brightness in a room,
which is really bright right now.
If you haven't got it in an enclosed box, ideally it would be inside an enclosed box and the electronics would not be visible. Or if you wanted to show it off, you'd have to shield this area from external light. Otherwise, you'd never have the same amount. Because you put the LED in here. Let me connect it up.
So actually what happens, what he's pointing out is that if you consider it's like any coin-operated machine, really, the electronics are always hidden, and the only thing you would see is this tiny thing right here, right?
So we put the beam in here, the LED in here, and the light sensor on top. There's a little, on the opposite side, there's a mirror here that bounces the light back.
Oh.
A set of mirrors there. They're plastic, but they work.
Okay.
And then when the coin rolls down, it's going to break the beam and indicate it over here.
Okay.
We're still adjusting, doing some fine tuning, so we may have to adjust it before it'll work.
Now he has pointed out that he has discovered that the only coins that work for this machine are pennies and dimes.
Yes, anything else is too big.
Anything else is too
We
big.
need to get a different machine if we expect to accept gold dollars.
What do you expect for $20? Okay, anyway. So, but it doesn't mean wasted funds because this has been a good experience, right, Thomas?
Sure.
Right.
It's taught us all about how coin mechanisms work, how the Hummingbird can be programmed to read a sensor, send out signals to LEDs, and send out a signal to run a servo motor.
Right.
So we're going to hook that up now. You see this little, it's not a smile face, it's not a sad face, it's just a, well, do something face. So go ahead and put a coin in, let's see if it works.
Okay, so I'm going to put a coin in.
Oh, I forgot to plug it in. It
Forgot
doesn't
to
work.
plug
It
in.
doesn't work if you don't plug it in.
Forgot to complete the circuit.
Try it again. Put another coin in.
Another penny in.
I think we missed that time. Go ahead.
Ooh, yay! And Supergirl is flying!
Again, that has to be an adjustment, and we have to shield it from ambient light.
Right. And so what we're working on doing is standardizing this, documenting what we do to the point where you can assemble it with your Hummingbird Bit kit and your CPU coin selector, that you can make a penny accepting machine. Donation machine.
Prefer to see if we can find one that accepts silver dollars.
I know. We'll work on that. That's
Gold
so
dollars.
funny.
Let's raise
We
it up a little.
looked at the specs and it should be able to take quarters.
Go ahead, throw the quarter in. I'm
But
holding it up.
here, we're trying it out now. Here's a quarter.
It's stuck. Oh, because of the light bulb. It's too far.
Oh, okay,
That's
so
all right.
quarters can work.
Well, without the top. But you gotta have the top on, otherwise it.
So put the top on. This is a sensor shield that Thomas bought. Keys Studio sensor shield for the Microbit.
Okay, the Key Studio cost me
How much?
$10 plus
Oh, that
tax and
was-
shipping.
That was reasonable.
And then the other one is what brand is that?
It is. Whoa! It's got Lego on the bottom.
Oh, Elect Freaks Microbit from Wukong.
Oh, it's made for Lego people.
How about that?
What's it called?
Elect Freaks.
And how much was it?
This one was more money, $25.
25.
That was the cheaper one.
And they both do the same thing,
Supposedly,
which is basically
replace this board.
extrapolate the pins for the Microbit,
That's what they call a breakout board.
a breakout
It
board.
looks like it may not have all the functionality. It doesn't have.
So,
It doesn't look like it has a speaker. I don't know. Oh, this has a battery. Look, it has a rechargeable battery. This one does not.
Okay. Good. For the record, Thomas is not using the original board that came with the CPU coin selector. We are using the Hummingbird pieces. So next steps in this project to create something that
There we go. Look, I just raised it up a little bit. There's a little bit of hot glue to put it in place,
Yeah.
and then now it would take quarters and maybe even gold dollars.
Oh my gosh, we'll have to test that too. And so the next thing is I'm going to duplicate this. I just need to get one more of these. And Thomas at the same time is going to move this sort of thing, work on transferring it to this, right? So this is good, and then I'll be able to do this, but remote.
Let's talk about the differences between these two boards here. So every pin on the Microbit has a little tiny tab here. Each tab corresponds to one of these pins, or on this board, one of these pins, where you can't see the pins, they're hidden underneath. When you slide it in like this, it connects everything. This board is color coded. Your servo motors are down here in the slots where only the servo motor plugs can fit. Your LEDs are over here in yellow. Your tricolor LEDs are over here in green.
And it's all labeled on the board.
Yes, and your sensors inputs, your 3 sensors are over here. Over here, you'll have to figure out which is which.
Okay, and that is a major thing. And if we're working in the education space, it totally makes sense to have this as a first learning environment.
If you have, go ahead.
And then as kids develop it, the donation robot, they could implement it like this and then reuse the parts for some other project. Or if you wanted to roll out a lot of donation robots, you know, supply chain for makers, then you could roll out a cheaper model with something like this.